You are not who you were this morning. That version of you, the one who woke up in your own bed, made coffee, argued with someone you loved, that person no longer exists in the way you understood. You are in the back of a van. Your wrists are zip-tied, and in 40 minutes, you will be processed into La Modelo. The question is not whether you survive. The question is what surviving costs you. Processing takes 3 hours. They take your shoes first, then your belt, then your phone, then your name. What replaces your name is a number. What replaces your shoes is a pair of plastic sandals that don't fit. No one explains the rules. No one tells you which wing you're in, or who runs it, or what the protocol is for the first night. You have to figure that out yourself, and the men who know are watching to see how long it takes you. There are approximately 7,500 people inside La Modelo. It was built for 3,000. The first thing you smell is the density. The second thing is the noise. Neither one goes away. The wing you're assigned to is not just a location, it's a government. Inside La Modelo, each patio, each wing, functions as its own economy. There are rules. There is leadership. There is taxation. The InPEC guards control the perimeter. But inside the wing, there is another power. You will meet him in the first hour. He will not introduce himself formally. He will simply be the one that everyone else looks at before they look at you. That look is the introduction. He determines whether you have protection, where you sleep, and whether the men around you see you as someone to leave alone or someone to test. First impressions here do not fade. They calcify. The cell was built for 2. There are 3 of you in it tonight. Tomorrow, there will be 4. You sleep on the floor the first night. Not because there's no room, because you haven't earned a surface yet. The man in the lower bunk doesn't look at you. That's not hostility. That's instruction. You learn the first rule here without anyone saying it. Don't ask for anything you haven't been given permission to ask for. You lie on a piece of cardboard that someone left near the door. You listen to the wing settle. The noise doesn't fully stop until around 3 in the morning. It starts again at 5. You do not sleep. You calculate. By the second day, you understand that everything inside costs money. The mattress costs money. A spot near the fan costs money. A phone call home costs money. A meal that isn't the official allocation costs money. Even safety, the informal kind, the kind that matters, has a price. The official currency is pesos, but the working currency is favors, cigarettes, and trust. And trust is the hardest one to earn and the easiest one to lose. If you came in with nothing, you are already behind. If someone outside has sent money to your account, you have options. If no one has, you have a problem. The problem is called debt. And debt inside La Modelo is not like debt outside. Debt here has a physical dimension. You figure this out quickly. Inside, the factions are not announced, but they are visible. Some wings are controlled by FARC dissidents, some by ELN, some by the Bakrim, the criminal bands, the successors to the paramilitaries, some by urban gangs with loyalties to organizations outside the walls. Each group has its own internal code, its own protection framework, its own obligations. You don't have to join, but you have to know who runs the floor you're sleeping on. Neutrality is not the same as safety. Neutrality is a position that requires constant maintenance. A man who aligns gains protection. He also gains obligation. Permanent, non-negotiable obligation. A man who stays unaligned gains freedom of movement. He also gains exposure. There is no correct choice. There is only the choice that fits the time you have left on your sentence and the resources you have to protect yourself. You are making that calculation right now. The guards are not your enemy. but they are not your protector either. InPEC officers are understaffed, underpaid, and chronically outnumbered. In a facility built for 3,000 and holding 7,500, the math is simple. Control is negotiated, not enforced. Some guards supplement their income. They move phones. They move information. They look the other way during certain hours. This is not an exception. This is the operating model. And this creates an opportunity, if you have something to offer. It also creates a risk, if someone decides to use that information against you. The relationship between prisoner and guard inside the Colombian system is transactional, fragile, and deeply human. They have families. So do you. That is both a connection and a vulnerability for both of you. There is a phone inside the wing. There are actually 17 phones inside the wing. None of them are supposed to exist. All of them do. You pay per call. You don't know whose phone it is. You don't ask. You call home. The voice on the other end is calm in a way you haven't heard before. Calm in the way people get calm when panic is no longer affordable. You tell her you are okay. This is a lie you have agreed to tell. She tells you the lawyer called. She tells you money was sent. She tells you the children ask about you in the morning. You stay on the call for 4 minutes. You hang up. You give the phone back. You walk back to the cell, and you don't show anything on your face. This is the first thing prison teaches you. Your face is not your face anymore. Your face is a signal. You control the signal. By the 3rd week, you have a function. Everyone inside has a function. Not because the prison assigns one, but because a closed system will always find uses for the skills that enter it. If you can read, you write letters. If you can fix things, you fix things. If you have connections on the outside, those connections have value here. If you can cook, you cook. If you can fight, that too is a function, though it is the most expensive one to hold. Your function determines your position in the informal hierarchy. It determines how much protection you passively receive. It determines who sees you as useful rather than as a problem. You are not building a life. You are building a role. The role protects you while your sentence runs, but the role also shapes you in ways you won't fully notice until you are outside again. By then, the shape will be permanent. By month 2, you understand the economy completely. Food comes from outside, cooked, and sold by men whose families have organized delivery arrangements with guards. Contraband moves through the same channels. Debt is collected on Thursdays. The rate on unpaid debt doubles after 7 days. There is a man in your wing who handles disputes. Not a guard. Not an official. A man. He listens. He decides. His decisions are final. You have seen 2 men removed from the wing after a decision. You don't know where they went. You didn't ask. This is governance. It is more consistent than the official system. It is also more ruthless. You begin to understand something that will stay with you long after you leave. Power is not given. Power is maintained through demonstrated willingness to use it. Everyone inside knows this. The men who have forgotten it remind themselves, usually at someone else's expense. Somewhere around the middle of your sentence, something changes. Not in the wing, in you. You stop watching the gate. In the beginning, every time you were in the courtyard, some part of your body was oriented toward the gate, toward the exit, toward the idea that the gate might open and the outside might call you back. You stop doing that, not because you've given up, because the calculus has shifted. Inside, you know the rules. You know the hierarchy. You know what is dangerous and where. You have built something small but real, a position, a protection, a set of understood agreements. The gate behind you is the loudest sound you have heard all week. The morning you leave, you wake up before the wing. You don't say goodbye to many people. This is understood. You have watched men leave before. Goodbyes here are brief. The men who are still inside don't linger over departures, not because they don't care, because every departure is a reminder of a door they are not walking through. The processing takes 2 hours. They give back your belt, your shoes, your ID, not your phone, not the 200,000 pesos that were in your wallet when you arrived. Paperwork issues, they tell you. You nod. In the first weeks outside, you cannot eat in a room with your back to the door. You cannot sleep in a bed that feels too soft without waking up disoriented. You find yourself reading people the way you learned to read them inside, scanning posture, reading intent, tracking who is watching whom. The children are older. The older one asks you a question about school that you don't know how to answer. You realize you have missed a whole vocabulary of their lives. You do not speak about what it was like inside, not because you can't find the words, because you understand, with complete clarity, that there are no words that would close the distance between what you know now and what the people in this room can understand. So you sit at the table. You eat the meal. You hold the thing you came back to. You don't name what you left inside. But it is there. The system does not need you anymore. It has what it learned from you: your name, your number, your time. And now it will learn someone else. La Modelo has been open since 1957. It has processed hundreds of thousands of people. It will process hundreds of thousands more. The gate does not notice who walks through it. Kipur, system does not mourn what it takes. It simply continues.